Yes, you guys, welcome back. I'm EFC, this is Blue Lines TV, and today we have some massive breaking news because finally, after what's been so long, it seems like we are getting closer to announcing our first official signing of this window, and that surprise player is Jules Kounde from Sevilla. Now, this is typical Chelsea fashion. Of course, we're linked with the big names like your Haalands, your Rices, etc, but as per, it's always a surprise signing that no one sees coming that gets signed and announced by the club. In today's video, I'm going to break down why we're signing Jules Kounde, what he can bring to the team, why he's wanted, plus many more things as well, you guys, so I hope you do enjoy. And of course, it's been a long time since I've made videos. I have had some personal struggles behind the scenes, you guys, this month. I'm looking to get more pattern and on point and on top of things as well, so I can start producing more content. So I'm gonna let you guys know this straight. Today, I'm gonna be doing a watch along for our game against Bournemouth today. And there is going to be a match review afterwards once the game's over. So, the content is coming back on Blue Lines TV. So if you're happy to see my very scruffy face, I need to get my barber real quick, you guys. Smash that like button, help me get at least 3k likes for today's video. And without wasting any more time, you guys, we've got to get straight into the news. Now, I think a massive shout has to go to the transfer king himself in Fabrizio Romano, who has literally spilled the bag behind this entire story. He's been breaking news thick and fast throughout the entire day since the reports first came out this afternoon. And what we do know currently, we are in advanced talks with Sevilla at this point in time. We've been discussing and holding talks with them all day. We are currently talking about how we are going to structure this deal to sign Kounde for us. And what's very surprising is that news has come out suggesting that there will be a player exchange in this deal to help bring the overall cost down to sign Kounde. The player that is being offered in exchange is actually King ZOUMA. For me, it's like I can't see it's a surprise because we knew that ZOUMA would be leaving. But I do want to say, obviously being a fan of the club and, watching ZOUMA when he made his debut to when he got that terrible injury against Man United and, just seeing how he's been performing over the years. I have to say that, I've got a very soft spot for ZOUMA. I think that this guy has been a fantastic personality in the team, and not just that, but he's also been a very underrated football player as well, in my personal opinion. I think maybe this move to Sevilla could be a smart one for him because Sevilla traditionally are getting top 4 spots every season. We know that both Barcelona and Real Madrid, they'll need to re-strengthen their defense in the coming seasons. So if you're playing for a team like Sevilla, you're putting yourself in that shop window for other big clubs as well. So, it makes sense. And I have to say, massive respect to him and good luck in the future. We do know, though, that, continuing with the news, we have agreed personal terms already. Personal terms are normally the easiest terms to agree in big deals like this. And a 5-year contract has been agreed upon as well. This deal is ever so closer to becoming official. And finally, we are going to have our first signing of what has been an incredibly barren window of not much happening. So this is good news. This is good news. And, I think right now you might be wondering, okay, Nini, why exactly are we looking at Kounde? And I can tell you guys this from what I've heard. You guys know I come correct with the sources. I've been doing it for years. Thomas Tuchel is a massive fan. And one of the reasons why he, in particular, really admires Kounde and really likes him is for his ability to carry the ball and step out into midfield. I guess this tells us immediately that expect to see maybe the back 3 setup used on a more consistent basis. And it's going to be very interesting to see what our official back 3 partnership is going to be. I'm always stressing all the time that I think football's getting to the point now where having a first official proper 11 doesn't really matter because now coaches adapt their lineups to their opponents they're playing against. So we're going to see the back 3 getting tons of game time shared out between them. So I guess right now, you guys, now that we know all the news at this point in time, I want to give some of my thoughts and opinions, and let's actually discuss Kounde. Now, one talking point surrounding this entire story has actually been over Kounde's height. Now, I think he's 178, 179 centimeters, so he's close to being part of that 6-foot club, that 6-foot family. I think he's 5'10", 5'11". You know what? To be fair, in my opinion, I'm going to set it straight. I don't really think his height is a big deal at all. Number one, he's playing in a back 3. Number two, we see that our defenders aren't getting isolated in any moments in the field because they play as a unit and they play together. We see that the wing backs support the wide centre backs as well, on top of that too. And I don't necessarily think height implies that you're going to be weak aerially. Kounde is one of the best aerial defenders in La Liga. He has an incredible leap. Great timing as well. You know, when we see players doing abnormal things like this, we gotta clock their technique more because, you know, it's not just like due to a massive leap. I mean, he is very good in the air. He is very good in 1v1 tackles. He's very comfortable in leaving his lines to close down opposition players in front of him. And, you know, in Tuchel's system and in setup, you need to have defenders like this, proactive ones who can, you know, leave their lines comfortably to help stop counterattacks. That was why we were so successful last season under Tuchel, because we stopped teams having mostly any counterattacking threat against us. So from that tactical perspective, Kounde is going to slot in and fit in easily. On top of this too, you guys, Kounde is very skillful and very technically adept. I get those like vibes. He's like a Mascherano style defender. You know what I mean? I could easily play in midfield if he had to, even though he hasn't played there. But I just get the vibe he could. And he's very comfortable playing out from the back. If I was to give a proper comparison though, I'd actually say that Kounde is like a more skillful Andreas Christensen. It's quite funny. Kounde is very good at leaving his lines, as I said earlier. You know, he will carry that ball into the final third if he has to. That's going to be amazing for us, creating overloads on those wide areas. And we've seen how beneficial it is to have defenders who can do that. We've seen Rudiger do that constantly down that left-hand side to great effect. We've seen Christensen do the same thing as well. So I do think it's quite interesting that we are spending so much money again on another defender that can play down that right-hand side. Of course, considering that essentially ZOUMA is leaving and he is being replaced by Kounde, you know, things still slot in and make sense. But considering also how good Christensen's been and how good our defense has been, is Kounde going to just slot in and win a spot in the team immediately? It'll be very interesting to see. I do have to say though that even though he has that potential to become a leading centre-back in this country and in Europe as well, he's still not the finished article completely. I do think that maybe his passing could be a little bit more progressive, but I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, could we say that necessarily we needed like maybe Christensen from last season on that right hand side playing very creative passes to find like the wing back or the winger playing on that side? I don't think so necessarily, in my opinion. And it seemed like mostly it was about using the switch balls on the left hand side to find your Hudson-Odois or your Reece James or whoever was playing on the wing back sides, you know, down that right hand side. You know what I mean? So even though his passing can definitely improve in a more progressive point of view, he still moves the ball with quality. Yes, it might not be super adventurous all the time, but it's still crisp, there's still quality behind it. He's still comfortable receiving under pressure, playing out of pressure, and as I keep really stressing, this guy is a technician. He can get past his man 1v1. He's got skill. And I do think that fans are going to find him quite enjoyable and fun to watch too. Now, before I wrap things up, you guys, I want to give all my general thoughts and opinions behind this breaking news and our imminent signing in Jules Kounde. I know that a lot of you guys might be thinking, yo, Nini, does this imply now that, you know, say goodbye to Haaland, forget about the deal happening anymore? You know, we've reinvested the money from sales into a defender instead of into this 150 million man. I would say to that, remember the reports, you guys. We do know that with this window in particular, it's a case of one out, one in. Breaking down the cost of Kounde, we're not paying anywhere near close to the 80 million euro valuation in his release clause. That's not happening at all. ZOUMA's value will bring that deal down dramatically, and to be honest, I would not be surprised if like Kounde cost the equivalent of what we earn from a Tomori, for example. So keep that same energy for other positions like Haaland. We know that Tammy would have to be sold first, of course, to generate the funds and use that for part of the deal too. So, you know, this is not affecting Haaland whatsoever, you guys. Don't worry about that. But to continue on with just other thoughts I have behind this deal, I can't help it. And I know that maybe a few might have some groans or roll their eyes. And yeah, you know, I've been called like, you know, a youth nonce. I've been called like a common Nazi. Just real talk, you guys, it's some real basic shit, to be honest. And it's just like, raw, how, like, it's just typical human nature, you know? Like, we all support the same damn club, and it's like this unnecessary division for no reason. But it is what it is, and I'm gonna say it. I look at the case of Mark Gueye and of course Tomori as well. We knew that ZOUMA was out the door already. And it's a shame that Gueye wasn't even given an opportunity to show what he could do. I'm going to tell you guys this straight. He left because the club told him they wanted to send him out on loan again. That's the reality. And of course, if you're Gueye and, you know, try and put yourself in his shoes, you're thinking, okay, you know, that 1920 season when I saw your Mounts and Ko's, Tomoris, etc., breaking into the team and being the sole reason why we qualified for the Champions League, which won it for us just last season. And then me playing for Swansea, where I'm one of the key players in the team, one of the best players in the division, and arguably had maybe stronger seasons than some of these guys that broke into the team. I'm not even getting an opportunity to show what I'm about. Hey, for me, that's a little bit mad, to be honest. But, you know, I guess it just makes it abundantly clear how the club do see the academy. So I think to keep things fair, we have to respect why players do want to leave and push on with their careers. If it's going to be like that, I think anyone would make that decision if you're in the same shoes, to be honest. You know, to add on that as well, of course, I find it interesting that we are going for another defender that plays on the right hand side and plays with the right foot, because Kounde really is literally everything down the right hand side. His strongest foot's his right foot. That's how he plays. It just feels like in the long term, we'll need someone down that left hand side. Now, there's a big chance that could be Levi Colwill, who's of course gone on loan to Huddersfield. It'd be very exciting to see how he develops. Of course, he could be ready to just cement that position in the years to come. But to be honest, you guys, we've said that for so many players, but when they do their bit of performing and then don't get opportunities, I guess it just doesn't personally sit too right with me, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just think it's interesting that, you know, Gueye, he can kind of play all across the flanks as well. Has that ability too. Did we necessarily have to dip into the market to sign Kounde? I don't think so. I think Kounde, you know, he'd still be in the market next season if he didn't have confidence in other defenders, or if other defenders didn't perform. I don't know. For me, I think Gueye definitely deserved a chance, and I just think that maybe this signing wasn't needed. But even though I'm saying it isn't needed, it doesn't mean I will ever say that he's not good enough, he's crap. I don't do that, you know what I mean? He's a good player, he's a great one. And of course, he will be good for us and he will be successful. I guess my thing, it just comes down to, you know, fair chances and fair opportunities, to be honest. But I think maybe the Chelsea players in the academy, they know what the deal is now this season. And as I said, don't be surprised to see even more guys leaving, because as we're seeing now in Europe, it feels like European clubs have finally clocked, yo, this club are constantly producing top talent. Top talent. It makes sense to sign them up quickly. It makes sense to sign them up quick when they're young, because most of these guys are guaranteed to be worth at least 10, 20, 30 times their value in the not too distant future. But regardless, you guys, you know, Kounde, this is a good signing. This is a good player. I think he will be fun to watch. I do like that. I've missed like my fun player since David Luiz left. I think Kounde could fit that spot when it comes to his runs going forward, the 1v1 ability, and just the technical ability on show as well, you guys. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And in the comments below, you guys, get involved. Let us know how you personally feel about us signing Jules Kounde. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you man later with some more videos. Cool.